Salt Lake City benefits from a large, rich mixture of different cultures. The 26th district is one of the most diverse districts in the state, and while such diversity is very beneficial to the community, it can also create separation between cultures. How do you plan on creating a feeling of unity among these different cultures in order to bring the community together?
You know, if you could pass a law to say respect diversity, it would have passed a long time ago. This speaks to me about the way we live our lives. As I mentioned, what got me into politics in the first place was working for an organization that this was their mission. This is what I did for 9 years of my life on a daily basis, promote dialogue in the community, to build community, to break down barriers. This isn't about a specific policy. Did I pass effective hate crimes legislation that holds people accountable when you target them? But it doesn't take away the division, it doesn't take away the prejudice. This does not speak to a specific piece of legislation. This speaks about how we operate and how we, as public officials, demonstrate and live that example. And I wake up every morning, when I think of my son, when I think of my daughter, when I think of what I'm going to do that day, and I commit to that value and that principle. Because that says more than any piece of legislation or any law. It's not going to take that. It's going to take the way we live our lives together.
Thank you. Mr. Wright, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. When I wake up in the mornings, I also think about diversity because my wife is from Armenia, which is a Eurasian country. And my 2 sons, of course, are Armenian. We speak Armenian in the house. I was lucky enough to be raised outside of the United States. I say lucky enough because I had the best of both worlds. I lived with my family. My father was in the military with his strong American culture in the house, and I also got to see a little bit of the world. And I also get a chance to speak with my neighbors. I speak Spanish, I speak English. I speak Armenian, but only enough to tell my wife I love her, I miss you, and I'm sorry. Dialogue is important. We have to get out there and talk with the people. As elected officials, I'm not an elected official, but as elected officials, I think that's important. I think that it's important that we're out there more than just 9 months out of every 2 years. Now, I know you have a lot to do, but a constant dialogue creates true transparency.
Thank you. And Mr. Litvack, you have 1 more minute.
Boy, I guess from my perception, I'm out there 12 months of every year, not just during campaign season. I'm out in the community, with the community, I'm working with the community, I'm answering phone calls from the community. To perceive that this is a 9-month gig every 2-year thing for me is not, trust me. What I said about dialogue, I live with it, I feel it's true to my heart. But there is a role as state legislators. We look at our refugee community in supporting legislation last year to create an Office of Refugee Services, one of the newest. District 26, along with being diverse, is also home to many refugees. And last year, I helped pass legislation to make sure that refugees are getting the support that they need to become self-sufficient. Is it difficult? Is it hard? Absolutely. But we took a positive, huge step forward last year to provide more resources, and we'll continue to address those kinds of issues.